There is such a creature in the world. They were discovered by a few people, but it has not been confirmed to exist. We refer to this group of creatures as unidentified mysterious animal. Unidentified organism, UMA for short. Hello, and welcome to the UMA video series. In this issue, I will share with you a touch the vampire monster of South America, or Quana. Belfast. Its name is transliteration. Alaquilo is Spanish, which play the role of a definite article in the language, equivalent to the in English. And turning can be directly translated as cowhide or leather, same as the vampire blanket mentioned earlier. This creature also has many names, can be translated as waterskin respectively, live leather blanket, devil blanket, and more. As the name suggests, this is a cowskin-like amphibian. Multi-touch in intelligence, with Argentine amber rivers and arches. Its back is black or black and white speckled. It's surrounded by sharp hooks. The front end has two long tentacles, deep eyes at the tips of tentacles. It looks like a snail. There is a huge sucker-shaped mouth on the abdomen. There is also a description that his mouth can stretch out like a straw. They will use their bodies to wrap their prey and drag it into the water, suffocate it to death. Then it will suck its blood with suction cups until it dries up. The limbs around the body are used to hold the body in place, avoid prey escaping. Here we go. Let's take a look at a few recent years on YouTube. Video of suspected discovery of Caro. The first video had a guy named William, uploaded on July 14th, 2018. In his message, he explained that this is not his photo shoot. It was a friend of his. In February 2016, governing an estuary in the southern city of Mercan. Taken. You can see it. Underwater in the video, there is an irregularly shaped object. His surroundings are okay. Saw white bubbles somewhere. This video is considered by many is the real evidence of Caro's existence. The second video, there's a guy named Markioki, uploaded on October 26, 2018. The video was filmed on the afternoon of the 25th. The filming location is Lake Lolog in western Argentina. Please watch the video first. Although netizens believe that this is a manifestation of the existence of Quailbu, but you can't see it in the video at all. The morphology of the organism. However, the change in the water pattern shows this thing is huge. Here's the last video, by a guy named Milk, uploaded on September 10th, 2019. Video title shows filming location, Lake Rosario in Argentina. Something in this video. The part on the water is like white fur. but it obviously has an underwater part. It looks like the carcass of an animal. In fact, similar records to the above videos. There are many more. Most of them are rather vague, or if the shape is not similar. I didn't find the true tolerance in the description. Relevant video materials with very similar images. Records about Quail. It originated in Mapuche mythology. It was later included in Chilean mythology and Argentine mythology. The Mapuche used to call this creature truck. Cuff literally translates as leather in Moc. Here to propose the Mapuche. It refers to a native living in South America. Nation. Before the Spanish arrived in South America in the 16th century, local ancient myths that are not recorded in written form, or legends are usually transmitted orally. This has led to the description of many stories. There are significant differences between individuals or groups. I roughly summarizes what has been said about Quairu. Legend has it that this creature originated from being killed. The resentment of the dead animals. Early years, people used to skin dead animals and throw their furs into the river at will. Over time, the skins of various animals combine in water. It gave birth to a terrifying and bloodthirsty creature. This creature comes to the surface at night, hypnotize and attack by bathing in water, people drinking on the shore. It can even directly attack passing boats. He will use the deep swamp to hold his prey tightly, dragged into the water and drown, and suck the blood with suction cups. If you want to kill this creature, need the help of a horse. And by march, I mean sloppy. Shamans in traditional cultures are usually women. They are the bearers of wisdom and healing power. Plays an important role as a doctor in the community. In addition to that, they also have great mental strength and supernatural powers. Their opinions can influence many important decisions in the family. Legend. Madge will use magic to attract Koala to the water's edge, then throw at him a local branches of Carafat's plants. This is an perennials endemic to Chile and Botania. Multiple shrubs. The branches are covered with sharp thorns. Fast snail is bewitched by the power Think of branches as prey, will attack its package. At this time, the spikes in the branches will pierce the snail's body, cause him to bleed to death. Of course, without March's help, they can also use their stomachs or their internal organs. The package is locally called Guacala's columnar cactus, thrown into the water. Good Luo will also be fooled, pierced to death by the prick of a cactus. According to derivative animal writers organizing the records of Austin Whit, this creature was first mentioned in writing, dating back to the early 19th century. Juan Ignacio Molina, in his 1810 book, The Chilean Natural Calendar, he is mentioned for the first time in the history treatise. Molina is an intellectual Catholic priest. He was also a famous naturalist, historian, geographer, plant and ornithologist. One of the pioneers of the theory of evolution, Darwin, on the origin of species. He has been quoted many times, and this is how he described it in his paper. Name of Chile. In some lakes, discovered a huge fish or dragon, and they called it the Fall of Reason. They say it's a red man's fish, therefore never bathe in the lake. But many people describe him differently, or describe it as a snake with a fox head, or almost a sheet of extended cowhide. If so, he becomes a kind of blanket monster. You can see it, it's actually here. Molina did not mention Quan Luo's name. Instead, it only mentioned Kirivit. It might have something to do with the people he visited, and Kirivil. It is also a kind of sloppy origin, a deified water monster. Its name, it comes from the combination of snake and fox in Mapu's whispers. Legend has it that this is a powerful kettle, living in rivers and beaches. It is often described as having a fox head, snake with tail. We have spikes on the end of the tail. Due to the uncertainty of the legend, as a result, these two creatures are often confused. What's next? Here it is, the image of the good Luo, who was once believed to be true. In fact, he comes from a renowned intellectual historian, Thomas Lagver Silva. Psychology of the Alicanos, written in 1908. Junior high school talks about the Indians described a species called truck, creatures of North Cuff. It's a calfskin-sized octopus. It has claws all around it. It inhabits the rivers of Honduras, deep in Lake Hedge. Will take away those who cross the river and bathe in the river, people and animals, and kill them by distance squeeze. Those with reasonable branches and muddy Mopu County people in trouble. In the end, he took them all away. In this article, Rogwa also mentioned Kirivil and determined the difference between Quaro and Kirivil. Here, he used another name for Kirivil. Chilean folklorist, Olister Plus. It was published in 1973 in a book called Chilean Myths, Legends, and Geography. It systematically includes Chile myths and legends from all over the world. Now I can find it. Usually, the second edition he supplemented in 83. According to this book, the legend of Garo in Santiago, Chile, Acama. It's all over The content circulated is roughly similar to the above story. Among them, the San Diego area. There is another way of saying that leans towards mythology. According to legend, since ancient times, there is a rich silver mine. But nobody knows where he is. All I know is that there is a tall black guard always guarding this mine. And one year, San Diego broke out in a sweat. Evil is everywhere, because a kind gentleman reaches out to the poor. But he's not rich himself. So one night, a single guard found him. Ask him if you have a lot of money. What do you do? The gentleman replied. He wants to buy all the crops, then distribute it to the poor. So the black guy believed him, told him the location of the mine, and warned the gentleman to keep his word. Otherwise he will die. But the gentleman did not keep his promise. Always reject the Savior for various reasons. He has secretly purchased a large ship to escape. All the treasure was moved to the ship by him. Who knows, there are no airtight walls in the world. The black guard discovered his purpose. So one night, when the gentleman and his workers went down into the mine, it caused flooding. The entire silver mine drowned with greedy people. This is how Lake Batuxi was formed. Afterwards, Blackguard, transformed into a water monster shaped like cowhide, continued to safeguard this treasure. After reading these bizarre stories, here we go. So, let's look at modern machine sightings. In 1965, a man named Ambrose, the old man of he recounts the experiences of his youth. He was with his friend, Ramel, riding a horse in Argentina, near Lake Suddenly, Lemire's horse flipped over, threw him to the lake. And I landed on something that looked like bark. And that thing just rolls it up, very quickly, roll into the lake, and disappear. Even the corpses never resurfaced. 1996. There are many people in Lake Lolog in Argentina. Saw an object resembling a stone moving, and the surrounding residents say there is a Kuro living in the lake. This explains why the video from 2018, many people think it's In 2013, the Chilean television network. I have interviewed several people who live residents near Lake Sausalito. They grew up hearing about it. The legend of Quero eating people. One of them, a woman named Makili, said, Quero, in the lake, has killed at least 100 people. More than a decade ago, he had seen some soldiers passing by, search for missing horses and children by the lake. But they should have all been eaten by Quero. Around 2010, there are also many people on the lake. Saw a black object resembling a blanket. According to the content of the interview, the locals are concerned about the existence of blood-sucking water monsters in the lake. And that's what I found. About Quail, some of the more iconic events and stories. In summary, you can see the legendary nature of this creature is very high. But here's the weird thing. Confined, very few sightings were recorded. From Coelho's description, he and the vampire blanket mentioned the most obvious difference. It's the amount of breath. Zhou Shen's good, and is it toxic? And public speculation about this creature. It's like a blood-sucking blanket. Austin Toole says, the source of the myth. Maybe the Mapuche saw the ballad of the stranded sea. Or, after floating feces, formed by constant exaggeration and dissemination. He also mentioned the yellow fishing theory. Because it can be found in the rivers of Patagonia, the life in the lake must be fresh water. And in South America, there is indeed a population distribution of yellow fishing. The problem with yellow fishing claims, part of it has been explained in the previous issue. So that's just the theory. Problems in South America. The distribution of this species is limited. It's very serious. In South America, they usually live in the north, central and eastern tropical and subtropical regions. More common in the Amazon River, south in the La Plata River basin in Argentina. Also found, that is, these positions in the picture, and the distribution area of the legend of Coelho. In the Midwest of South America, the scope will be narrowed to this position. If according to the mythological origin of Matthew, look at the region, so, this is the spot. From the 1980s to the present, Lake Nervurva, in Argentina, there have indeed been several sightings of yellow fishing, but this still can't be the definitive evidence for the existence of Kuala Lumpur. Second guess, from Chilean archaeologists and folklorist, Ricardo Rachon. He wrote it in 1924. The social organization of the ancient Araucanian and religious beliefs. The legend of Garo is also mentioned. He believes that the source of the deification is a cephalopithecine of the Chilean seas, like the hublot squid, also known as American soy sauce. This is a large animal that lives in the eastern Pacific Ocean. Goliath squid, maximum body length is nearly 5 feet, will attack humans, Racham says. The claws around Coelho's may be identified as someone expecting to be attacked. They may exaggerate their own experiences, led to the legend of distribution to Lake Z and freshwater areas such as lakes. But I personally think this statement needs to be checked. Because of the morphological differences between these two organisms, and in Coelho's records, there's never been a description of tentacles. Mystic zoologist Carl Schuck's theory. Tendency, this is a stinging animal, such as the sea jellyfish. He thinks photosensitive eye points and monocules around the body of jellyfish could be mistaken for hooks or eyes, and Quana's eyes could be the stomach sac of a jellyfish, or the circular reproductive line under the stomach. The problem with this theory is the same as the octopus theory. Jellyfish that can match the size of Coelho all live in the ocean. Although there are jellyfish in fresh water, but they're never bigger than 30 millimeters. And the characteristics of package attack prey. It's hard to explain in this theory. A fourth possibility, from American derivative animal writer Mark Hall. He believes it may be an undiscovered evolutionary success after eating widely. This is what we usually call a sea scorpion. Seafood. It's an extinct medium and large amputee. The oldest known animal known to date. Ordovician, who lived about 470 million years ago. Hominids to trimids, about 250 million years ago. Extinction during the Ancient period. Small to 0.8 inches. They go up to about 8.2 feet. Although the earliest broad-red animals, all marine creatures, but then, there is also evidence of survival in saltwater and according to us, Coelho's haunt is located in South America. So, Professor Pua thinks happiness may be on the charcoal, the extinct broad Akagi animal. The evolutionary form after gathering, although this theory is unlikely. But if you really want to use that phrase to explain Coelho, I think living in a strange town in the Cambrian and Opabon seafood, it is more similar to the description of Coelho in morphology. To sum up, I think the possibility of the existence of a creature like a vampire blanket to be studied First of all, the ancient legends. In hell and hell, there's a big difference between people. Secondly, modern eyewitness, and the video is missing crucial evidence. Except for the old man, in 1965, hardly anyone has ever seen true happiness. The content of online rendering is very high, but we can't deny it. The possibility that this creature exists. It's like the platypus okapi. Before being identified, who can believe a duck with 4 feet? What about the road with the bust zebra? The last sentence. The unknown is always greater than the known. This is also the charm of Uma. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.